What is up, you guys? This is Colton from Epics. I'm chilling right now over 5100. I'm at 5109, which I think is like 70th or something, 70 something, 79th in Canada, which isn't too bad. Am I ahead of Braz? I'm at 5109. Haha, I'm ahead of Braz. Says he's 3,722nd in the world. So this is the deck I'm using right now. It's been working pretty good. It's definitely nice to have max cards, obviously. That'll help. But I just wanted to show a couple replays with this deck. As you can see, since I switched to this deck, I won, and then I did my war attack, and then I won, and then I've won twice more. So I'm doing pretty good with this deck. These two replays, I kind of want to show you two popular decks I was facing here. So I'll kind of just explain these two replays, what I was thinking. I do a couple weird plays in the Expo one where I had weird cycles. I do find sometimes, just like this, like right now, I have a really weird cycle, not knowing what he's going to play. So I'm still figuring out if I should be kind of being aggressive here or if I should be sitting back. Because if he throws down a hog, I don't know if I need to put down. I guess my only real option with this rotation would be Goblin Giant. Maybe Goblin Giant Fireball, which would be a little ridiculous to stop a hog. So probably just a Goblin Giant. And then, yeah, it would get a few swings. So that's definitely an awkward rotation. Hopefully I don't get that rotation too often. So I decided to drop a Goblin Giant once I see he drops the Knight. Glad he slow played it. Gives me time. He places two troops here that Sparky can theoretically target. And with the Goblin Giant helping and getting those little bit of shots, I definitely placed those bats too early. I should have waited till the Goblin Giant locked on. Sparky gets a shot there. And I'm fortunate enough here that I get another shot. My Goblin Giants chip a little bit there, which is great. The Goblin Giant chipping away at these things, Fireball is really good against them. I'm able to spread out cheap troops here. No, the nice thing about like Baby Dragon is normally like tough to deal with, but with Goblin Giant, if it's chipping away at the Baby Dragon, you can Fireball and hit the tower and a Baby Dragon, hopefully, and then you can finish off something like a Baby Dragon, which is nice, with just a Fireball. And they don't get that value out of the Baby Dragon that they maybe would have. Still think Goblin Giant needs a buff, but this deck is definitely interesting. I'm happy I've won 4 straight with it. I don't play ladder every day, or if I do, I play 1 or 2. I'm not one of these guys that'll play hours and hours and hours of ladder straight. Just find that way too stressful. But as you can see here, the Goblin Giant's cleaning up the skeletons and also chipping away at the Baby Dragon. So when I fireball the Baby Dragon, they're able to finish it off, and the Spear Goblins are able to get chip damage here, which makes fireballing troops that the Goblin Giant is locking onto that much more valuable. Now I know he has a graveyard. He did that very quickly, so it kind of throws me off. But usually you want to place a relatively high Sparky, because if you place it too low, generally the Sparky is going to get distracted by all the skeletons. And if you place it high enough, it'll take out the tank, and you can play a cheap troop to take out the everything else. So I spread out troops as much as I could, but he does get some poison value there. Could have gone a little aggressive there, but there's only 40 left on that tower, so I decided to do a little bit of push in the opposite lane, try to throw him off. I tried to pull the Baby Dragon, and I successfully do that. I pull the Baby Dragon, and my Goblin Giant's able to get a little bit of damage here, and I think he's able to take out this tower as well. Not quite, but I basically need to fireball here. So he poisons the tower there. And it's a lot of troops for him to deal with, so even with that tornado, there's just too much swarm for him to be able to take out, and I'm able to take the tower just like that. And these guys are obviously all over 5,500 players themselves. Let's hop into the second one here. Again, with a weird rotation. Both these matches, I start with a weird rotation without minions, without bats, which is kind of a little bit of a pain. I decide here that Expo's not going to do too much, so I'm going to go in with the graveyard. I got a tank, and I got my zap to take out those skeletons. And the goblin giant with the spear goblins is able to take out that Expo while being a tank. So pretty useful if you ask me, and it definitely shows where it can be useful. Still figuring out exactly the ins and outs of the card, but it definitely has its benefits. A little buff would be nice, but we'll see. Split gang here because I don't know which side he's going to go down. I think this is where I do an awkward Sparky. I actually meant to do it in the left lane, but he goes in the right lane anyways. And I wasn't able to get my goblin giant down in time. But I decide I need another ground tank down here. Unfortunately, the log makes it so it doesn't finish it off, but I am able to take out the Expo, but I am a little bit behind in elixir, but he needs to spend a night, and we basically catch up there and become even, which is great. I decide to do a really weird push. I don't know why I'm pushing that lane, but it turns out okay. I had to spend those troops anyway, and he places all his troops here, and with a good zap, I'm able to distract those units and give everything just enough time, just with my goblin gang and my bats to take that out. I do another awkward Sparky. I haven't figured out how to play against Expo with this deck. I was going to go opposite lane, but I decided the Goblin Giant mixed with Fireball would be best for taking that out. So unfortunately, he does have to spend a little elixir there, but we're pretty much even there. We're both full. I think I have to do oh no, I do my Goblin Giant. Sorry, bad commentary right here, but that's a juicy Fireball. Able to take pretty much everything out there. With Expo, you definitely get fairly valuable Fireballs, which is great. And I'm kind of just waiting for the right rotation. I do a weird push here, but I needed to cycle to my ground cards. That's kind of why I did that. And I'm just able to get my Goblin Giant down in time, and I have to Fireball, otherwise this Expo would just decimate my tower. So I haven't gotten really the push that I want to get yet, but I know he's going to be placing an Expo, and I don't have much for ground troops here, so I need to place my Sparky. And I place more ground troops too, but fortunately I'm able to hit the Expo there. Which really sucks for him, but I decide I gotta go in with a Goblin Giant and a Graveyard here and see what I can do damage-wise. And with a well-placed Fireball there, I'm able to finish off the tower, which is great. I only have the 2 matches. I'm over 5,100, which was kind of my goal for right now, so I'm not going to play any live matches, but so far so good. I hope you guys like the Goblin Giant Sparky graveyard deck. It's definitely unique, so I hope you guys like it. All right, take care, guys.